Hi everyone, this is Ants. This is 1,000 instance bullet holes being drawn using one draw call. Yeah, it's just one draw call. And it's drawing 1,000 of them. The 1,000 are already pre-allocated. They're already predetermined where they are. All I'm doing is just basically increasing the number of visually visible ones. That's all I'm doing. But anyways, it's very fast. I'm running OBS right now, and OBS takes a chunk out of my GPU power, but it's usually 900 in this view here. And right now it's like 750. But honestly, don't worry about FPS. It's actually quite fast. This is 1,000, and it scales half decently. And hopefully 1,000 bullets holes is enough, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so there's that. So now I have two nodes. My plugin gives you two nodes. One is like the Mesh Instance 3D, where if you only need one or two decals, then just use the regular Decal compatibility node. And then I have Decal Instance compatibility, which is basically multi-mesh instance 3D, and I've enabled custom data, and I'm using the alpha channel to basically individually control instance decals alpha. So I could fade out individual instances of these decals, even though it's just one draw call to draw. Right now, I think it's just drawing maximum 10 here, but it could be 1,000, 10,000, doesn't matter. And you can individually control them, just like you could individually control multi-mesh instance 3D transforms, like the rotation and the position and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so everything looks good. Oh, one of the comments, the few comments that I have is, they wanted to know if I have the issue like all the other shaders that are on Godot shader site, where if you clip into the geometry of the decal, it basically disappears. And I don't have this issue, but the reason why I don't have this issue is because I'm doing a hack, right? I'm actually not drawing the front of the decal geometry. I'm actually drawing the back, which is like the back of this is down over here. And because I'm drawing the back, I could clip the geometry. But that impacts normals, because the normals show up at the bottom here, right? And so this isn't unshaded, there's no normals, and there's a lot of limitations. There's no AO, there's no emission, there's no roughness, there's no normal map, there's no metallic, there's no none of that. So it's unshaded. However, it does have some other features, you know, so this is not a distance fade, this is just like a distance check and all that kind of stuff. This is modulating different colors, no big deal. You could change colors and all that, follows the terrain. This is instance bullet holes, control of individual instance alphas. This is just an alpha test and a rotation test. Right, and let's kind of clip here, go low, no problem. So yeah, this just shows clipping through. So yeah, so I released the code, and it's in a GitHub repository over here, and it's public. And I did some documentation. I want to do a little more, but I need more time. And please look at the limitations. Here are the big ones. As I just said, no normal maps, AO, roughness, metallic, or emission textures. The decal is unshaded, so it has no lighting interaction. And the hack I'm doing, I call it a workaround, is I'm front culling, and so it's drawing the back. And that's good in a way, because now you could literally be right on top of the decal and it will not go disappear like the other shaders do. I don't have a fading curves, like you can't define fade curves. It's not really a big deal. Honestly, that's not really a big thing. And the other thing it doesn't do is it doesn't work under forward plus and mobile renderers. And the reason why is believe it or not, it's slightly different shaders. The NDC, the normalized device coordinates, and the Z depth and all that, it's slightly different between the compatibility mode and the Vulkan renderers. So, but that being said, is you don't need this for Forward Plus and mobile renderers. You need it for compatibility. And the reason why is if you're using Forward Plus or mobile renderers, just use the built-in Decal node. It's actually quite good. And it supports all the other things that mine doesn't support. So one of the planned features is flipbook animation support. That's not hard. I know how to do that and all that. It's just have to change the shader, and that always takes a lot of time and testing. But basically, flipbook is like an animations sprite sheet where you can animate the texture, right? But it's still just one texture, but you're just basically just taking all the different frames out of the animation, like a texture atlas. But that will be really cool, and I'm planning that. One of the other things is I've included 2 demos. I fully documented the code. Let's see the documented code. Here's the instance version, open documentation. As you can see here, I have a really easy fade out instance method where you pass it the instance ID. You give the fade out time. So what's the duration of the fade from the current alpha to 0? And the start delay. So you could also pass it a delay timer to delay the tween until that timer is up. So it actually, yeah, it's actually pretty good. And then make sure you reset your instance after you fade it. Once you fade it, the alpha is 0. It's not going to show it, even though you're displaying it. It's not going to show it, right? So you have to reset that instance, and all it does is reset the alpha of the custom data alpha channel. So that's one thing is I'm actually using custom data, and I'm only using the alpha channel, which means you have 3 other channels that are RGB, 3 floats to provide you with instance per instance stuff. I'm not going to get into now. If you know multi-mesh instance 3D and what I'm talking about with the custom data, it's quite powerful to get some other effects and post-processing effects and stuff like that. So let's look at the documentation of the regular Decal compatibility, right? So there's Decal compatibility and Decal instance compatibility. The only difference is one is multi-mesh instance 3D and the other one is mesh instance 3D. One is instancing, the other one is not. Okay, and that's basically it. So yeah. Again, there hasn't been really much interest in this. That being said, there are a few people who did say, hey, you know, where's the code and all that. So yeah, and again, to the comment where clipping is not a problem and instancing is done. There was another comment saying, oh, the way you're doing it is if you have to draw 1,000 of them, the performance is tank, and that's actually a very good feedback, and it gave me the idea to do instancing decals, which is done now. So yeah, again, it's not full featured, but it works, and it does have some use cases, so hopefully someone finds it useful. Okay, and thank you and have a great day.